Yo. What up? Good morning, GM. Thursday, February 6th. More like January 37? January 37th, 2025. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house, Tyler Mando. Good morning. How you doing today?
GM, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We actually hear you very well today.
Fantastic.
Because you're speaking into the microphone. Love that. Look at that. We got to get you on these SM7Bs, bro. I've been trying, but I know Portugal's tough to procure some new equipment. So maybe I have to just bring it to you in France or something. You gotta get one of these. They're so smooth. I'll bring you one of these too. I got one for you too, Tyler. Rug radio box at the bottom. I got him here. I got him here on my right. Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm good. Bullish news just pours in. We got a big launch today, but it doesn't matter. Our coins are just slowly bleeding out every day. At least maybe this is the opposite of the last few weeks, where Thursday was the local high.
Yeah.
And then we were down. Maybe
does that mean we pump Mondays now? I'm not mad at that. I can get the weekends off. It could be pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, today on the show, today as usual, so market report. Let's talk about this market. I don't even know what they're saying about this market as it's dropping, but we'll leave Mando to it. We have Tyler's top 1,000 big launch day. Berachain went mainnet this morning. Very successful launch. It appears that it opened above. It went up with 13 billion. Could be more, could be less right now. I have no idea. I have to look, but it's very successful launch on that front. We have a guest coming on today. Bread Guy is coming to talk about Mega ETH. Oh yeah, you saw the news a couple days ago. They're all over the place. So really curious to ask him a few questions here about what's going on with that and how to participate and how our listeners can best, make the most out of Mega ETH, right? We definitely need to get back and getting all these guests on. And then last but not least, of course, a Rollbit loot box spin. Let's see who wins some money today. Hopefully you guys gonna win something. I'm gonna play around with the box, okay, during the show, try and see what I can do for you all on that front. And then this show is powered by Galaxis. Galaxis is a Web3 platform empowering creators and brands to build unstoppable communities with full ownership and independence, trusted by icons like Donald Trump, Steve Aoki, Mike Tyson, and the NBA, shaping together that future of engagement, but also fair side. Every day we see people's wallets get wrecked, get drained. Well, right too. Fairside is about to launch a fair alternative to insurance for crypto scams. Check out Fairside Network on X. If you get drained, you won't get wrecked. Mando, what's going on with the market?
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. So let me just turn that down a little bit too loud, I would say. Not a great day if you're in anything but Bitcoin, really. Bitcoin is kind of bounced for us, kind of unchanged from where we did the show.
Mm-hmm. Unchanged,
Bitcoin,
really.
Yeah, Bitcoin dominance though is up to 62% basically now. It's not a pretty looking chart, that one.
Wow. If
you're bullish on altcoins, this has been like a point of resistance, it seems. So maybe that turns around, but that is the number one trend in crypto right now. Is that Bitcoin dominance is going higher. The majors are holding up okay, even in that world. It's not like ETH and Solana are down a lot. They're just kind of down a little bit, maybe. But it definitely feels like Bitcoin is taking the majority of the liquidity in crypto. And then I think there's just bullish headlines for Bitcoin a lot now. Again, another state looks like it's going to, New Mexico, I think, pass some sort of Bitcoin reserve, or is going to have a Bitcoin reserve bill put up for vote now. The Czech central bank policy passed, and now they're now moving towards putting some of their reserves into Bitcoin. And this is also a world where gold is hitting all-time highs as well, just on the back of worries about trade wars, just worries about stocks in general. So Bitcoin is holding up very, very well, and versus the rest of the market. It is a bit of a bloodbath, I would say. Actually, it's more than just holding up well. Like I saw your tweet this morning, Tyler, which is like $45 billion of meme coin market cap has been erased in 3 weeks, which is kind of wild. The cookie.fun.
Whoa. What?
Yeah. Cookie.fun has AI memes, obviously, or AI agents going down to 6, just above 6 right now. And that's where the majority of the losses are. If I look down the list, like AI16Z is actually hitting like new lows versus where it was on the weekend. Same for ARC, Graphane, AIXBT. Like we're basically at or through the lows that we saw on the big liquidation wick. So
Graphane's 140.
If you decided to buy AI on the dip, like Fartcoin down to 450, Virtuals is holding on to $1, but feels like it could go below that any moment. Zero Bro 45. Like we are breaking out to new lows across the board there.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty wild. I would say, because it felt for a short while at least like that was going to be the strongest sector on the bounce, or amongst the strongest sectors on the bounce. It now really doesn't feel good. And it's not just the utility coins as well, like Farcoin, like I said, which has really been the coin of the last few months, right? I mean, that was at 2.7 billion. Now it's at 450 million, and that's
it's wild. That is wild.
That's a goat-like candle right there.
What a dip! Jesus, wow, 80% from tops.
That's not even the top, right? The top was actually
but I mean, it was
7.
It flashed there, but yeah, we could count it from there if you want. 82%.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty wild move across the board. Meme coins are also lower, but they'd obviously been decimated kind of before that already. I think AI had held up and is now seeing very similar sort of price move lower that we maybe saw in meme coins a month or two ago. So like even Pepe, for example, it's gone under, has lost a digit there, which isn't or gained a good digit even, which isn't a good look. The strongest bits of the market, there's not a lot out there today. Even the revenue producing protocols are lower. Hype is back down to 24.
65 down.
JLP's obviously held up okay, but it's a slightly different sort of protocol. Gaming meme coins have been relatively strong.
The story of today is literally the gaming meme coin. It's so funny. I was looking.
Tron is probably the strongest L1 at the moment, which isn't Bitcoin. Obviously, that's making a ton of money too, and we've spoken about that several times.
Wow. Look at this carnage on the alts. Carnage.
Yeah, it's definitely weak. Definitely weak out there.
Carnage.
I think a lot of people are just like, well, if this is going to be a 6-month chop, I don't want to own anything but Bitcoin.
You see this thing? Where is it?
I continue to like the revenue producing alts.
See this?
But, it's that's just the general sense of stuff. So Bitcoin dominance just doesn't look like it's being questioned.
No,
this may be a point of resistance here to get above 62. But it's
what was this wick here? This is so nuts. Look at this wick.
Well, that was when ETH went down to 2000.
Right? It was the flash. Okay. Wow. Let's look at total 3 chart real quick, which is Bitcoin. Total 3, for those who don't know, is every it's the crypto total market cap excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin. So it's the altcoin chart.
And Solana, right? Includes
and so, right? Or is it? Okay. And so, yeah. And so,
yeah, that's total 3. There's total 2,
yeah,
which is
total 3. Yeah, total 3. Yeah, sorry. And Solana. So this is what it's at. Wow.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look terrible to me.
Doesn't look it looks bottomed out to me, but I hate calling bottoms. You know what I mean? Like it's like a dangerous thing to do here.
We just look at all charts and are bullish, though, guys. That's the thing.
And
Can we pull up some bullish charts, please? For
what bullish? I mean, yeah, I can pull you a bullish chart. Here, I'll pull you a bullish chart.
Yeah, Bitcoin looks okay.
I'll pull you the most bullish chart in crypto, literally. So this is the range that this is the infamous range that we're in. We're literally halfway. We're in mid range right now. This is the bullish chart. You want another bullish chart? Pull up the fucking Berachain chart.
Oh,
Bring up Bitcoin dominance. That's a bullish chart.
Here, you want a bullish chart? Here's your bullish chart.
Bring up JLP.
Is JLP bullish chart?
Always.
Let me see. Oh, it's at 44% APY. Degens are gambling, dude. I love it. You guys should use perps on Jupiter.
JLP is on TradingView, by the way, if you want to find it.
Oh, it's true. Why do I always go there to look? I don't know. I guess because on the main website. Here, there's a bullish. I mean, yeah, it's a bullish chart. Here we go, bullish chart. This is SPX. This is S&P chart.
That's good.
That's good. What else? What bullish chart do you want me to pull up? I'm
back to Bitcoin, if you want.
Yeah, I'm sticking to BTCD just for the look of it.
So we had Bob Lucas give us some hopium this morning. He said that he thinks
my quant
Bitcoin will continue to range, chop down, probably see like 88 over the next 3 weeks before resuming a leg up.
Mm-hmm. We're getting there, dude.
Yeah. So we'll see. He lays out a couple paths. Basically, one where we chop up and one where we chop down. I feel like consensus is definitely that we chop down.
Consensus is definitely that we work down.
Everybody wants that, apparently. Like, everyone on the timeline just wants max pain. My meme coin tweet, you'll never find a group of people who want to see an entire sector go to zero like you do in crypto.
So which tweet is this? Because I got your notifications on, dude. But you do tweet a lot. So I'm trying to find.
There it is. The next one. Yeah.
$44 billion wiped out. That's why people are not happy on the timeline. People are like, oh, well, Bitcoin's up. Like, why is nobody happy? Dude, this is why. Like, everybody's in this.
Half of my comments are send it all to zero. It's like, okay, like you want Dogecoin to go to zero? Like you want Pepe to go to zero? Like,
yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Fuck, this guy does make a good point, though.
I didn't see any UPNL screenshots for the most part.
I'm fucking buying dude. Just go ask Watch King if he had his best month or not, and he'll tell you he had his best month in business.
That's not flashing UPNL. That's people who sold and then took their cash into watches.
Well, what does that mean, right? I don't. Isn't that a top signal usually? Pico top.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, clearly it's down a lot from top. Pulling us back to Bitcoin. We got some breaking news, Rogue. I sent you a couple links.
Did we?
So this morning we saw that Trump Media had filed trademarks for these.
Yeah.
For these ETFs, Bitcoin Plus, Made in America. But now there's more information. It looks like they are actually have plans to launch these, which I think is the logical conclusion. But now we have that next detail. So a Made in America ETF, Bitcoin Plus, and then U.S. energy independence.
Wow.
What is an SMA? I'm not actually familiar with that. Oh, separately managed accounts. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm curious what Bitcoin Plus is. Is it Bitcoin Plus ETH?
I think it's Bitcoin Plus Made in America, and I don't know if
interesting, isn't it? Bitcoin Trump to actually get into the ETF game.
Yeah, bro. Did you see here? Tyler summed it up this morning. Hold on, let me get it to you. But it was an interesting announcement that came out this morning, again on the bullish headlines, right? But it's basically this. They registered trademarks comprised of the following: Truth.fi Made in America ETF, Truth.fi Made in America SMA, Truth.fi US Energy Independence ETF, Truth.fi US Energy Independence SMA, Truth.fi Bitcoin Plus ETF, and then Truth.fi Bitcoin Plus SMA. That was all breaking news this morning. So looks like Donald Trump's launching meme coins. ETFs. I have meme coins in my head now.
Well, he did that too. So.
And he did that. Sorry, he already did that. That part.
It's the big one. Like if you look at Coin Market Cap, their Made in USA sector is XRP, Sol, USDC, Doge.
USDC is going to $5.
Link, SWI, AVAX. Interesting, they don't have Trump on here. If Doge is on there, I think Trump's going to be in there.
Uh-huh.
Can we bring up cookie.fun?
No, Trump's here.
Oh, it is.
Trump's here. Trump's here. 34 on Made in America. I don't want to bring up cookie.fun.
Yeah, it's like, why do we have to do that, man? No, like,
I want to have a
why-
look at like what we actually think about this sector right now.
No, it's good. We were covering it a lot. We should talk about it. I mean, it all went. I just want to put it out there. It all went downhill when motherfuckers started calling it DeFi.
Yeah.
That was the absolute generational top of AI coins. When y'all started using the word DeFi.
Look at the 7-day on some of these, man. Like these are
it's
I
bad.
don't-
you couldn't get some of these
7 days.
coins fast enough about a month ago.
Wow.
It's a lot. Like, I'll admit, like I called what I thought was the capitulation event on Saturday. It looked.
I mean, it
for-
looked like capitulation Saturday, Tyler.
now they're all lower.
Yep.
Well,
Extended capitulation. The market will not rebound until Bernie's back from his cruise.
I think there was a
50
somewhat
to
popular-
60% in a week.
Pardon
Like
me?
having
Who?
it's like 50 to 60% in a week on top of that kind of happening the week before.
I mean, like
Wow.
the bully token peaked at 250 million or something. It's at 8. Like, we're not talking about 80 or 90%. Like, we're talking about like 90.
It's at 6 now, actually. Wow.
And they've
Wow.
got a that's supposed to roll out. I think they missed their deadline on it.
Wow. I mean, this is the saddest chart looking indexer you've ever built.
Even the people who thought that there was a somewhat popular take that people called a top and said, "Oh, the vaporware stuff is going to go down to zero, and then we're going to see like the true projects emerge." But even that's wrong, because like nothing is emerging. Like everything is just decimated at this point.
How wild is it that Toshi is now the 3rd biggest AI coin?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an AI coin.
I know, but like, how wild is that?
Where's Toshi at?
Toshi's at 342 million.
Wow.
And it's virtual. This is in current market cap, right? So it's virtual Fartcoin at 440, then Toshi, then Fraser, which is that weird coin that like no one really knows.
No, not a single person owns that coin. Wow.
I mean, I'm not
Decimation.
giving up. It feel, but I will say, like, it's never felt more over than in Israel. Like, it feels like this is like actually going to zero. Like that's my feeling.
Yeah.
Is like this sector is over. If I'm being like objective, like that is what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I have not cut bait. I still have my 16Z position. I have my ARC position. Both are down.
Wow.
Fartcoin is separate. I don't really, although it's in here, like I think it is its own thing.
Wow.
It's hard to see like what is the next catalyst, but it's always hard to see that at the bottom.
You need proper capital injection like this. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, just hang tight, you know?
Maybe Trump will launch a Made in America AI ETF.
We need it.
It's our only out.
Donald Trump, if you're listening to this show, as I'm sure
This
you
just
are every
doesn't-
morning.
This just doesn't remind me of the last, even the top of the last cycle, right? Like these things bleed out over a much longer time period than what they just did, right? Like that's a wild move. That is a wild move. Again, I think it just speaks to Solana and the fact that most of these coins of 1% liquidity pools aren't listed on exchanges. So like when people want to exit and they want to exit various different coins at the same
It's
time,
tough.
it's just a bloodbath.
I mean, there's a
Some of
reason why
these coins,
Fartcoin's
like
down.
we spoke about AI16Z earlier this week. It's like, oh, you know, strength to strength on the tech side. I know obviously there's been some FUD around Shore, but that's been FUD for a while. Like that's not new.
Yeah.
And then it's gone another 20-30% lower than that.
Yeah, this is just all. Yeah, I mean, the meme's gone. You know, nobody's talking about AI anymore.
But the
And,
thing is, like, AI is not going away.
Yeah.
AI is not going away. But then, if you're talking about utility, like none of these things actually do anything.
They
I mean, I know
do.
you guys.
It's like
For what?
like
You guys
AI
still don't use Griffin or ARC protocols or products.
because they're in the early stages.
As long as you two are not using these products, I'm gonna keep saying that the utility is nowhere.
That's fair.
I think AI16Z and ARC are basically they show that they were meant to be like launch pads, which to be fair, like ARC has gone down the route of, and AI16Z is waiting to build this this agent platform. Graphane, I always felt like that with the Copilot stuff, in that it felt like that felt too early for me, and I never really had a big business, because like unless they're able to build incredible brand strength, it does feel as though it's a little bit early to have like the Copilot on for crypto. But yeah, this stuff
it's actually nasty, dude. There's no way that
like,
I'm trying to find a bull case here, boys. I'm looking for every chart.
AIXBT is at 250 now. That was
Still
a billion.
Yeah. I mean, we have beef with him now.
So I'll bite my tongue. I'll set this conversation out.
Virtuals.
No, we got beef with.
Suddenly, everyone cares about the revenue at Virtuals.
We got beef with AIXBT. I'm just saying, we got beef with him. He's trying to fuck with Tyler and see what happens.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah, dude. He fucked with Tyler. It's been down only since he fucked with Tyler. You can bite your tongue. I don't have to bite mine. I got you.
Well, also, I think I said on the show at one point that AIXBT is kind of like the mascot of the AI sector.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's fitting that it's down 70% because the whole sector is down 70%.
No, this is true. This is a fair take. You brought another one up, Tyler. Mando, just now before Virtuals. Yeah, everyone's looking finding that the thing's making like $12 a day, bro. Like, come on.
Waiting for that tweet.
Yeah, it's funny because, again, like what I was saying is like the meme grew faster than the tech, the utility. So it was mimetic values that we were assorting to those tokens, like Zero at 700 mil. That was a mimetic value of Zero, not the actual value of Zero. And now it's funny on the way down, Mando. You think about, but the tech is not. It's funny, right? And that's a meme too, right? Like I'm here, like, you guys not using it, but who gives a fuck? Like I never used any of the coins I bought.
I'm in more of the Tyler's camp though. Like the TAM / the ability for these coins to have real utility seems way higher than most other altcoins to me.
Yeah,
genuinely most other altcoins.
Anon beta tomorrow looks like Anon.
Like Zero is more of like it's more of a meme style coin, right? Like it's more of a culture, let's say, style coin. But I do think like AI16Z, even AIXBT, right? I know we have beef, but like it has options with this mindshare, ARC as well. Those ones have really surprised me about how weak they are. Like AI16Z is down the most out of all the. It's like it's not like it's a shit, like complete shit coin in my opinion.
I agree. I don't think it's a complete shitcoin either. I like we said, like
it's 270 million. Like you're trying to compare that against other altcoins, and you're trying to it has like the most shared open source protocol in crypto. Quite a few different avenues with it to basically try and monetize that, and it's trading at 270.
You're talking about what, AI 16 here?
16Z.
Yeah,
it's at 2 cents. Yeah, I mean that's one where at these prices, even I'm like, wow. After what you guys said about the protocols and the GitHub and everything, like this is where like I can dunk on at 700 mil, but 200 million, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
150, I might have to try to unload. Like,
I wouldn't blame you. I just, you know what? Like I even just saw. I was just browsing Twitter as you guys talking. Like I just saw this tweet from Ponzi Trader. He's like, the market has not provided a reason to long any asset, specifically altcoins. Don't try to knife catch LARP tech.
That's fair.
Are you guys trying to knife catch? I don't think you are, right? Hey,
Yep.
I did on ARC a handful of times.
And you were right until you were wrong, but I don't know why you're wrong. Like, I actually agree with your knife catching on ARC. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even understand. Like, you and Ovi were like going at it, right? Like, bang, like bid for bid. It's interesting, man. It's an interesting part of the market. And it's fair to say that almost everybody who's new to the space probably is down now, because a lot of people got into the AI trade and they're probably down. It reminds me of, what does it remind me? When did people come in? When newcomers came into to NFTs, at some point they were all down. What was it? Q421 or something? What was it? There was a period, man, I remember like everybody who bought an NFT was probably down.
Q421.
So we've
sure.
been comparing these meme coins in AI to NFTs, so therefore we have to compare them on the way down to NFTs too. So that was kind of there. Like there was this inflection point where if you bought any of the top NFT collections,
But
you
Bored
lost more.
Ape stayed above 100K for a long time.
It
Dude.
lasted way longer.
But
It lasted. Even the collapse of it took ages.
But we
Right,
knew this, right? Like meme coins don't last. Like we
wild.
knew meme coins are not NFTs. Like you're talking about meme coins on Solana blockchain where people get out in the second and don't give a fuck about their bag. Like we know this, right? Like this is the risk of meme coins versus NFT communities, right? Like at least NFT communities believed in something. Like that Murat thesis actually fits much better in NFTs than it does in meme coins, right? Because you're attached to your PFP or your identity, right? There is no identity behind meme coins.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that. I'm shocked by this. That
It's shocking.
80 to 90% in weeks, not in
You're right.
not in months.
Yeah.
All coming. I'm not seeing anyone flashing their shorts that they made.
I don't think anyone's shorted. I think everybody missed a short as well.
No one knew. But I know we want to get to Bread Guy. There's a couple of headlines. I don't need to go through my full one. If you don't want, I can just
let's go through your headlines. I'll bring Bread Guy up still regardless because he's in the studio with us. So what up, Bread Guy? I'll bring you up. But let's do the Tyler's topics. At least go through them.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler T on FOMO hour calls the kids can't miss.
Free to bash some barriers. A lot of top stories. Let's start with the FDIC planning to revise crypto guidelines for banks, allowing them to conduct activities in this sector without regulatory permission, while also revealing documents showcasing and confirming that, yes, Operation Choke Point 2.0 was a very real thing. We saw Masari report that highlighted Solana's explosive Q4 and rapid growth, called it the best quarter of all time. It looked very good on paper. Though, will they be able to maintain that for Q1? Still up for debate. Sailor, MicroStrategy rebrands to just Strategy. They also launched that Stark STRK convertible preferred stock on the New York Stock Exchange here today. So a couple big days for them. The SEC reassigned their top crypto litigator to their IT department. So that was a funny headline.
That's hilarious.
Stripe acquired a stablecoin platform Bridge for $1.1 billion, its largest crypto acquisition to date. We saw BlackRock announce the launch of a Bitcoin ETP in Europe. The CFTC is going to review their regulatory approach to prediction markets in coming weeks. Love to see that. And then breaking news this morning, Trump Media filing trademarks for Made in America ETF, Bitcoin ETF, and more. It looks like those are indeed coming. Folks, Berachain is live. They released their tokenomics and airdrop checker yesterday. Mainnet has launched. It's trading at $10 right now, which is right around $5 billion.
Wow.
So pretty strong start. We have Ondo Finance. They launched Ondo Global Markets, their new tokenization platform for U.S. securities. So this tokenization for U.S. securities like stocks and bonds is absolutely coming.
Sure.
ETH. We'll talk about with Bread here in a minute. They announced a vote for their NFT distribution, either first come, first serve, or random RNG. So if you've got a horse in that race, maybe go vote. Let's see. AI, we already talked about it. It's down only. Parallel did share a major update. So if you're in the Parallel Prime ecosystem, go check that out. They talked about a mobile app, the Colony game, and Wayfinder. They teased Q3, Q4 for new game releases. Prompt still expected Q1. So hopefully later Q1, maybe once AI has rebounded.
Please.
NFTs, let's see. Jupiter's X account was hacked. Briefly had a meme ticker displayed.
Dude, and it went for a bit. Like they hosted a Spaces as well. I thought that hack was, I hate to say that. I thought that was a funny one. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't just like drop something. But yeah.
Can we just like all just like smarten up? Like did you really think that was
No, not one bit of me. I actually saw some smart people fall for this, and I was a little surprised, especially given like where you are in the space. So I think it was quite obvious, but I'm mostly like kind of appalled by the lack of security on some of these big protocols. I love Jupiter, I'm a fan, but you know, if you have a certain audience and you're like also one of the largest protocols or DEX or aggregators or products in all of crypto, like, you know, unless this was inside job, which I don't think it was, but yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, dude.
Not great, but
yeah,
that was the roundup.
Natural selection, Tyler. Just more natural selection.
Indeed.
Yeah, hate
More
to see it.
I love the FDIC news. We've been talking about this. It just reinforces that the banks are absolutely coming into crypto, and it seems like it's going to happen soon, sooner than later.
It's happening at the speed of light right now. Do you want to double down on that headline? Let's go through that. Maybe the prediction market one, which was pretty good. And let's get right into the mega ETH stuff.
Yeah. So the FDIC, they plan to revise bank guidelines for crypto, aiming to allow banks to embark on some crypto activities without getting regulatory permission first. It looks like some banks have already been in conversation with government officials.
Wow.
They are pushing to offer custody of crypto assets, along with tokenized deposits that could put some checking accounts on blockchains. So that is incredibly interesting. The custody piece is still like the one I've been focused on, just because of the massive capital unlock that would be. I actually hadn't even started wrapping my head around tokenized checking accounts on blockchains. So there's even more to unpack there. But tremendous progress, and it really feels like the progress is accelerating. Like maybe, like, are we gonna see this in H1? Like, would you bet on H1 like before the end of June?
I don't know how fast this stuff moves. What do you think, Bando? I really don't know. It's not my
tokenization. It feels like weirdly DeFi has become one of the stronger sectors during this sell-off. Like, people are looking at it through it and being like, well, that's where we might see more headlines over the next few months.
It's like where you're gonna get all the real adoption, right? In DeFi, like, and stuff like that. So it's becoming very real again, it seems, on that front, right? Because you have Larry Fink talking about tokenizing bonds and stocks.
I continue to think that these TradFi companies will do it themselves. Like, they don't need us to be able to do this. So
Meaning they won't use our current blockchains? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just don't think they need us for to actually do the tokenization. So there's some like RWA coins like Ondo and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My general sense is they'll just do it themselves.
Okay.
That's the RWA piece. I think I was more just referring to the custody crypto within banks.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that. I don't know if it's H1. I think it'll be 2025.
Yeah. It's definitely. I think yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at the state of the market. I think that I just can't. There's no piece of my things that were nearly close to the top. Anyways, I see people in the comments saying everybody's gotta freshen up here. All right, reboot. You know, it's a bull market. It's normal bull market shit. Vaporware is getting erased off the market. This is probably a good thing. You absolutely love to see that. And we got Bread Guy on the show. Come on. And we got Bread Guy on the show. Let's get this energy going. I mean, Bread Guy, what's up, dude? I think it's your first time coming on here. How you doing?
What's up, buddies? Yeah, you inspired me to go back and check some message timing. So ICO Beast had a really big AIXBT trade, right? He crushed it, right? Ran it up. I didn't realize how far down it was. I remember him bull posting it a little bit about a month ago, and I went back, and after he did that, I sent him a message like, bro, sell some coins. You got to trim coins right now. You have too much money on chain. And I top ticked the thing. That message to him on Telegram was 4 a.m. the like pico high, and he like, you know, he just responded. He said he trimmed it a little bit, but yeah, man, like, been there. Round tripping is part of the game for everyone.
Yeah. Tripping well. We round tripped friends together as well as pups.
It's trauma bonding. That's the PMF of this entire space, is to
trauma bonding
with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the friends you made along the way, right?
We had quite a pups bag. We had quite the pups roller coaster.
I mean, I'm part of that one
holding
too.
Out.
What's
still
that
holding
at?
Out.
Should we check? What's pups at?
35 million.
Mil?
And 34 mil.
Ugh.
At least that fucking dog token is 300 mil, you know? Like, at least Dog to the Moon's 300 mil. Like, pups holders couldn't even. Bro, RSIC is $17 million. I think Runes did $2,000 in volume yesterday total.
That's what I was about to say. It's like, oh, like, whatever the market cap is doesn't matter because it takes like an hour to move it all because like the volume is so low. It's just like, and Bitcoin's down, the mempool's empty. Like, no one's using this shit.
Bro, this is so wild, but this is all really good. Listen, Bread Guy, you've been busy, it seems. You've been busy with Mega ETH. You guys made a kind of a monster announcement the other day, which was really good. I personally I really like the way you guys are approaching things. She sent it to logs internally. And I saw Kobe was supporting. Of course, Mega ETH was like what, like a record-breaking like raise on Echo or something like this.
Yep.
Like what, $10 million in what, 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Something
something like that. It was in 2 tranches, so like that kind of skews things. It's like we opened it up at, I think we did 6
see.
mil. That immediately went away, and like, all right, jack it up. Like if people want it, we're willing to go higher, and then we went for record numbers and hit 10.
Smart.
Just over 10.
I love that. So why don't you just maybe like give the people a little intro, like what Mega ETH is, and then Tyler, let you like lead this. And like I know we want to talk about the whitelist stuff, but like what Mega ETH is, just for the people who don't know.
It's Ethereum's answer to Solana. Is probably the best way to do it, right? Without getting too nerdy, right? Like
yeah, yeah, keep it at that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so like we've made some very opinionated design choices so that our specific L2, we are an L2 on top of Ethereum, but it's a different flavor of L2, is able to unlock a higher level of performance than all the other L2s, namely like Base, Arbitrum, whatever, by orders of magnitude, right? Just to give figures people are familiar with, right? You have 200 TPS total across all of the rollups, across every one of them. So if you combine Arbitrum, Base, Optimism, World Chain, all these things are about 200 TPS. We're shooting for 100,000, right? Because of some of the design decisions we made. We see the market, right? You see what Solana's doing. You see what Hyperliquid's doing, right? Maybe people over-indexed a little bit on like maximally super ultra slow, secure, decentralized, whatever. And there's a clear demand for on-chain good UX that is on par with Web2. We're pushing for that.
So what will be on Mega ETH? Like, will it be the same things that we're doing on ETH, but it'll just be easier and faster? Like, what is the vision?
Yeah, all right. There's 2 things so no, first of all, like we're not pushing for the 55th fork of whatever that's just faster. We have one unique unlock that is like the responsiveness. Like the tagline is real-time chain, blockchain, whatever. That is because of the design decision we lean into to say like, hey, we're gonna like really lean into this. And you basically have that sequencer that everyone FUDs, right? They're like, oh, we need to decentralize this thing. It's big, it's scary, it's whatever. It's not really that much different than Hyperliquid having 4 validators, which everyone fucking loves. We just said, okay, well, if we're gonna do this sequencer, like own it. Let's just make it the biggest, baddest MFR you've ever seen in your life, right? So now we got some chads from Web2 who fuck up data centers. They're here to say, all right, we're going to make this thing awesome. And the thing that it unlocks is the real-time element of blockchain, or real-time element of what blockchains could be, right? So what that means is the responsiveness and how fast your shit lands on chain, right? So even with Solana, you have about half a second delay to where it actually ends up on chain. We can get that down to 100 milliseconds, right? Like down to like real time, instant Web2 interactions, right? Discord messages are about like 200 milliseconds, right? Telegrams are in that same range. On payments are like 300 seconds. That's like when it's instantaneous to you as a human. So that's the threshold that we can do because we're not an L1, right? Because we're not decentralized. Solana can only get down to like 250, 300 milliseconds. Ethereum's never going to get below 12 seconds, right? Monad's aiming for 1 second. We're aiming for like making blocks under 10 milliseconds. Like, it's just super fucking fast, frankly. So that unlocks some apps, right? So like that means you can have applications that are really responsive. We're not trying to just again have the 55th fork of Uniswap that's just a little faster. So we've incubated. It's an accelerator of like 15 teams that we've been living with, are co-living with for like 30 days at a time. Did it in Berlin, did it in Chiang Mai, and they understood the tech and they're building applications that is uniquely enabled by the tech. Like Euphoria is a good example. Euphoria is an application that's like perp trading, but they're calling it tap trading. So it's like a Robinhood style spin on perp trading, where literally as you tap, like you get the whole confetti. It's immediately on chain. Like it's a trade in real time instead of like having to wait a little bit for the thing to land. And then you have games like AAVE. He's actually the founder of OnCyber. He's building on our chain with a bunch of again these other 15 teams, and he's making a real time, like an engine that you can actually do on-chain assets are real time generated inside of his world, right? So like you can be in an environment walking around chilling, doing shit, and like pump fund coins are coming in from the ceiling with a size based on your market cap, and if you bump into them, you buy $10 worth of that coin, right? And then you can play games around that shit, right? Because it's responsive enough that you can actually have that interactive stuff with real time shit. And then because we're growing them all together, there's like again 15, 17 teams. They're all co-building, right? And they got some camaraderie amongst each other. So like our perp stacks plugs into our gaming engine, plugs into our lending protocol, plugs into our, whatever. So they're all native, our applications building together, kind of want to make each other better and then uplift each other through like integration with each other. So it's like a interwoven ecosystem.
It's a cool vision for sure. And I think like I primarily use Solana these days because of the speed and user experience. But I'm also not I'm not married to Solana. So like if I can find that trading experience elsewhere and there's enough to do, like I'm happy to go there as well. And I feel like most people are generally in that camp.
Yeah. Why do you think
I
it'd be
think that's
better
fair.
than Solana? That's the good question, because I think
That's a $100 billion question.
Yeah. So that was what I was just talking about, the real-time responsiveness. Again, like think about the constructions of L1s versus L2s, right? An L1 has to come to consensus, right? It has to have a bunch of nodes. Solana even, right? It's very, very fast. It's very performant. Still has to come to consensus, right? You put your transaction on chain. There's a little bit of lag time between all the nodes agreeing on that thing being true, that being able to be ingested into an application. Like things have to agree on stuff, and that takes time, at least as slow as the speed of light to travel amongst random nodes to agree on shit. Like for Solana, that's 300 milliseconds, right? 400 milliseconds, right? Round trip around the world for these boxes to agree on shit. We don't have to do that. Because we don't have to do that, it's just the distance from you to the box, and then it's on chain. So again, Solana, Hyperliquid is going to be an L1. Any L1, because they have consensus, can only shrink this window down to that 400 millisecond-ish window, right? And that is above the perception of instantaneous. Real time. Real time is that like 100 millisecond window, because we're in L2 and we're saying, well, fuck that, right? Like Ethereum does the consensus. Ethereum is decentralized. Ethereum has all this shit. We're a big box on top of it. We'll create this experience. We can shrink that window from that threshold that they're at down to, again, we're making blocks in 10 milliseconds. We'll have 100 blocks produced per second. That's faster than some chains will have transactions per second. So like the rate at which we can produce this on-chain stuff is not replicable as an L1. It's just not. So like that's the difference. And if you can create an application that exists in that vertical and is different, that is the only possible on L2, but specifically for us because we're also performant on top of that.
So what would be the high performance apps that you would want would really thrive, let's say, in that sort of environment?
Combination of like wacky shit and then like the typical stuff. Again, like there's the stuff that's like I just talked about, the tap trading, right? Like you literally cannot replicate it. Well, you can. It's just not a good experience, right? You tap a screen and you have to wait half a second or 2 seconds for that thing to be real. You cannot produce the like confetti blowing experience, right? You literally can't do it. The guy who's creating this app is he's an ex like MEP searcher, right? Like he's this guy, Gigabrain backend stuff. He's like, I just want to create a weird, wacky, fun trading experience. So he's just like, now you have like a Robinhood style app. You tap your screen. It's gamified, throws confetti, but it's instantaneous because we can do that, right? Because you can tap and it's instantaneously on chain. Like that cannot be replicated elsewhere, not in the same way. Not without like it not being final. We can say it's final. So like there's that element of it, but then there's also the weird, wacky shit that's like DPIN style stuff. Like we have some teams that are literally like you walking around and you take pictures of like monuments and shit. They have the ability to like go and like they're making people do this and saying if you can trick these people into taking pictures a certain way, we can turn that thing into a 3D object and then make that 3D object that's usable inside of our world engine that's being spun up by the OnCyber guys. So like it's really just like finding people that can create things on chain that are like unbounded because of some of the trade-offs that we make, and then letting those flourish. So combination of stuff, the typical stuff that can just be a little more weird, and then just weird things that just weren't possible on chain before.
I think you did a nice job laying out the vision.
Yeah.
And what everyone's, our audience definitely wants to know, right? All right. So how can I make money off of this?
Of course, right?
You guys have the big
of course.
NFT.
Dude, I've been screaming the tech for months, and everyone's like, oh, okay, whatever. And
no one cares, dude. No one cares.
We blast on through the mindshare chart now where everyone's talking about us. I get
absolutely nobody gives a shit unless they can make it to your whitelist. Not just you, it's for anyone, even what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the second you talk about, hey, we've been building this prediction market for 8 months. Hey, guess what? We're adopting Myriad's token from the foundation. It's just name of the game. So tell us more about this thing. I think I'm in. I think the boys are in. I think 80,000 people are in. So this is not an insider cabal thing. Don't worry. There's 80,000 people on this fucking list, or addresses. That is.
Yeah.
So
that's a little. Yeah. So that's a little intimidating. We fucked up the messaging. There's just a lot of words there instead of like clear, concise. Learn that.
This is a really big positive. I think the messaging was just long for the average DJ that doesn't read. But if you dig into it, it's very interesting concept.
Yeah. So like. it all stems from the ethos of like trying to return to the days of old, right? Like making sure people who want to be able to get invested in these ecosystems and own a part of the network are able to do it early and on the same terms as people that traditionally would be private market, right? So the team has deliberately since day one put off raising, right? They raised 20 million total to get off the ground. The project's been going for 3 years, but they raised 20 million from Vitalik, Lubin, like Dragonfly, whatever. That got them going. The next thing we raised was 10 million from the Echo round. That was 3,400 people from on-chain. When we did that, we said, like, guys, we're not done. We're looking for other mechanisms to allow for people to be able to get exposure to us if they want it. And we're going to look for on-chain native ways to do it, right? So we did Echo, knowing Echo is not perfect, right? I'm a US citizen. I couldn't even participate in that, right? If you don't meet the right criteria, if you're not signed up, like, it's just not awesome. So we know we have to deploy this in a couple of different ways. Again, we could have raised $100 million from a bunch of VCs, but we think the love of the game has been lost a little bit. And the way to build a true community, if you're trying to like spawn an ecosystem, you have to align incentives through straight up wealth generation, right? I think that is something that's very, very sticky, right? If we can give people good exposure to this stuff, not let it be captured in the private market, then we can do that. So this was the second installment of like a tactic for doing that. We did whatever we could. I couldn't even participate because I'm a US citizen, but like the team did whatever they could to make this explicit, right? Like it could have been a Berachain thing, right? Oh, we're doing some NFTs. 3 years later, you still don't know what the fuck you're getting and you're still gambling on it. We in here said straight up, these at a minimum are going to represent 5% of the network, right?
Wow.
So it's 5% at minimum, right? At minimum.
At minimum.
At minimum. So it's yeah. So that's the thing, right? So it's 10,000 NFTs for 5% at minimum of the network with the ability to dynamically increase, right? So again, we haven't released the details on that, but you can do it. And then it's similar to our Echo terms, right? That comes with vesting, whatever, but we include in here KPI vesting, right? So if you do certain things over the next X amount of months, then it accelerates the unlock. So it's 50% at TGE, but it can be potentially more based on like your contributions.
This is great. I love this.
TBD on it, right? Like we can't release everything,
but
we will have stuff. And then we're doing it in 2 tranches, right? So 10,000 total, right? So it's like, that's like $30 million at current ETH price because it's 1 ETH per, but we're doing it in 2 tranches. We don't have a fucking chain yet. We have test nets coming at the end of the month, or, 30 days ish, like, whatever. So we can't do anything to say like, oh, you've been a big user. You've been like, we don't have that, right? So this first 5,000 is retroactive. We looked for people throughout the ecosystem that did things, displayed stuff that we thought were valuable to the ecosystem, whether it was you're a big PendleFi user, you're an owner of a couple NFTs, you attended some of our events, you like our spaces hosts. Like the team reached out to a bunch of people to make sure that like you guys have been contributing. People have been contributing, right? We want to make sure those people and artists, like whatever. So those people are involved, right? They have the ability, and that was the original 80K list, right? So that is not who is going to be minting. That's just who's eligible to register to do whatever, right? So the actual number who can actually mint are the ones who then like take their emails or like I think they did like all the OGs from like Solana, right? So like there's a lot of people that just straight up aren't going to check. They'll come in, they can register their address. That will put them on the list, and then we're then working on it. Like we're afraid of a gas war. We don't want that. That's a bad experience.
Yeah, that was gonna ask. Like, okay.
Yeah, like. To be honest, like we thought this would be well received. We didn't think it would be as well received as it was, especially around the Bear mint and stuff. Like we kind of acknowledged that, and it turned out it was really well received. So like, okay, now we got to make sure we don't. There you go. We have to make sure we don't lead to a gas war, right? Because that like effectively raises the valuation of what you're actually getting. So what all this to say is like we're iterating right now on the back end to see what we can do to mitigate that. We're going to we have 2 waves, right? The first day is like guaranteed and free mints for people who've been like strong supporters, all that shit. And then the second one is just a first come, first serve. Again, we're playing with it. We have a vote open right now to make sure.
Yeah, I voted RNG.
Yeah, like, and it's a combination of stuff. So like one, like people are going to register. So I encourage everyone, if you are, check your wallets. Like we put out a post yesterday on the main account. If you go to the article.
So you do this, like you just, and you make sure you're in or something.
Like choose your wallet.
Like I got 2 wallets through, one for fantasy, one for FinTech.
Yeah, now make sure you click the bottom there, log in and delegate.
Okay.
Yeah, the verbiage just sucks. Screen. It sucks, dude. I had to work that shit so much, but yeah, do that off screen.
Just so people know, like, see, my wallet was eligible, so you probably like there's 80,000 people eligible like this.
Yes.
Make sure you do the rest, like what I'm about to do now, to delegate and everything. Okay.
Yeah. And we're seeing that stuff on the back end that like, yeah, some people are coming to the screen and seeing that, like not realizing they have to do that. So we're going to update verbiage, put out copy, make sure people do that, so that we can do that. But yeah, so we're going to try to create a subset of wallets that actually register, get an RNG from that subset, let them mint, try to do it in as least a rush as possible. If we can just like push people into the guaranteed day, you know, up that a little bit so they can still pay, but it's not a rush, and then do like a smaller first come, first serve. We're iterating, but we'll have news coming out on that. But that's the goal, right? So that's this whole thing is just to allow people to participate. First 5K is based on retroactive stuff. We have another 5K coming in a couple of months, the second half of the collection, that will be purely proactive activity, right? So like we'll have a chain live, we'll have socials up, we'll be able to do things to identify people that are contributing proactively. And that's what that'll be for, to widen that. And then not done. We're trying to just find ways to do this stuff.
Of course. No, that's awesome. So I just did the thing that says congratulations Megamind. So just for the people, like make sure you go through the process, and then once you get the congratulations Megamind message, I'm assuming this is when you're done and you're good. So okay, this is great. This is exciting. Brad, I guess like when the shit launches, I mean, you're welcome to come back on and do all this stuff. So that was exciting. Unless Tyler, man, do you have any other questions? But I see we're
love having you guys doing it. You know, appreciate you kind of. I didn't know exactly what Mega ETH was. I'll be honest. So I have a much better understanding.
Yeah, this is great. Like short, sweet. We kind of got the gist of it. You know, from the more degen. Like we don't have to get too techie, nerdy, and stuff. Like people can go read the docs for that. Like I think this was great. We'll clip it, post it across, and make sure we get that on the timeline. Brad guy, thank you for coming. But sit tight because you might be our lucky charm today. You know, we do Robit loot box spins. The code today was Bera, BERA, rafflebot.xyz, Bera. That was the code today for obvious reasons, given that they mainnet it today. But Sims, let's pull it up. Maybe Brad guy's gonna be a lucky winner. There's no punks in there today, boys, but there's a lot of penguins. But instead, I doubled the odds on all the penguins. So maybe that'll make you win. Here we go. Checker, is that an epic duck? Is it?
Nah.
You know? You sure? It looks like one. Checker for.
I think it looks like it to me.
Oh, he's already on here. All right. Checker for E. Here we go. What's up? What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, look at this. Look at this. Checker 4E, digital collector, global explorer trader. It looks like you have a rubber duck, Star Wars clone rubber duck PFP. I love that.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, are you ready to make some money?
Always down wrecked down. So I
hold on.
I need a big win, guys.
What I'm doing here is I'm like doing something even better. I'm adding even more odds to win a pudgy penguin right now.
Wild.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, hold on. You guys are seeing me like this is transparent as it gets. Okay, boom. Okay, there's 4% chance to win a fucking penguin and 3% and 3%. So that's what I did. Instead of the punks, I upped the odds, the chances to win a pudgy penguin. All right, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, we got Bread Guy with us. We got Tyler. Let's bless this man. Well, you win, Red Guy. Let's go.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. You spent $1,000 for listening to an awesome show this morning. So congratulations. All right. Well, look, Red Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Shout out to Checker for you. Shout out to the show. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.